Hello, mic check. Ebs, what's going on, man? Can you hear me?
Hey, you guys hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Awesome.
Yeah, great to have you on. Good afternoon,
Thank
everyone.
you. Great to be here.
Yeah, no doubt. So Ebs, before we get started, do you want to give our audience a quick background into your origin story, your career trajectory, and then how you ultimately got into Web3?
Yeah, sure. So, I actually studied accounting. We won't go too far back. So let's start with let's say university. So, I started with accounting. So got a bachelor in accounting. Also did a minor in Mandarin, so Chinese studies. Went to China for a few months. Came back. Started in accounting, then moved to real estate. It's also one of my passions, and did real estate for a few years in leasing. So I managed a bunch of leases for a big retail company in Canada, for stores across Canada. And let's say started investing in crypto in late 2018, early 2019. 2020 happened, really started to pick up, and 2021, obviously, as everyone knows, was a huge year. So that was really when I dove deep. COVID happened, lockdown. Where I'm from in Montreal, Canada, we actually couldn't leave the house for certain periods of time for months on end. So that really kind of drove so many people to the internet, drove me to the internet, researching what the next alpha is, what's going on in crypto, just following a bunch of projects. And one of the projects I was following the closest was Orion Protocol. So got really close to the project, got close to the people working in the project, and almost a year ago, got lucky to meet them close enough for them to give them what I want to do within the company, what I want to do within the project. And they believed in me, and they still do. So I've been working for Orion Protocol for almost a year now, and it's been amazing. Honestly, I just came back from Denver. What a vibe that was! Just seeing tens of thousands of people. Literally, I think we were more than 20,000 people. The interest, the passion. It was just an unbelievable experience. So yeah, that's pretty much my quick brief origin story and how I came to be in crypto.
Beautiful, man. And I'm very jealous that you were at ETH Denver. I find that pretty much everyone I talked to was there. And I think the figure was actually closer to 30,000. So quite the event.
Yeah.
We hope to be there next year. So tell us a bit about Orion Protocol. Give us a general background of what it is, how it works, what problems it solves, and then we can kind of get into more the nuts and bolts of things.
Yeah, sounds great. So Orion is a DeFi trading protocol at its core. We provide aggregated liquidity from the best centralized and decentralized liquidity sources in crypto, which is really not something any aggregator is doing. So what that means is you have, in a fully decentralized way, connecting to, via MetaMask, Trust Wallet, Ledger, etc., your non-custodial wallet. You have the ability to access the best liquidity sources in the world. Let's say Binance, we have connected, we have aggregated, we have KuCoin, Ascendex, OKX, these major centralized liquidity sources. But also we aggregate DEX liquidity as well. So we have order books that are aggregated from, let's say, a Binance, but also a Uniswap and a PancakeSwap and a QuickSwap, etc. So we're kind of bridging both worlds, the DeFi and the SEX world together, so that we could provide in a fully decentralized way, the best aggregated liquidity to our users, so that anywhere in the world, anytime you need to access, that Binance liquidity, KuCoin liquidity, you have that access via our trading platform. And also our swap widget. So you actually have multiple ways you could interact with our product. So our flagship product is our trading platform, which starts off with a swap feature. And what's really cool about our swap feature is you could place whatever asset you want to swap. It'll show you in real time, which is something that goes unsaid too much about our protocol, is the fact that our price feed is pretty impressive. We compared it to Binance. It's actually almost as fast. Which is really something very cool considering how many liquidity sources we're aggregating. And so once you put in your assets to swap, you'll see the best and second best and even third best liquidity sources in the market at the time you want to place your swap, so that we show you in real time the best liquidity source and how far off the second best liquidity source is that you probably would have interacted with on another platform, and not have gotten that, the best price we're providing. So our goal is to provide the best price, the least amount of slippage in a fully decentralized way, to global users. So that's pretty much our MO. And then we have also our swap widget, which is something you can interact with. That's on more than a dozen platforms at this point, which we're pushing out. We're happy to keep our partnership going with Crypto Slate. So we're on all the article pages. We've been on there for more than 6 months. We're on Nakamoto Games, which is a nice, really up and coming gaming platform. Primal, which is a very good up and coming project as well, which is a move to earn / token fan token platform. But with a lot of other integrations that we're working on right now, with let's say lending platforms. We're also working with a digital and physical marketplace, retail marketplace, that you could buy items using crypto, and you'll see our swap widget in the checkout process. So these are all things we're doing right now to really give our users more and more possibility to interact with our product. So that's what's pretty much happening. That's a little kind of rundown. There's definitely a lot more to talk about, but that's a quick intro.
Yeah, thanks for the quick intro. And I have questions right off the bat. I know
Sure.
how DEX aggregators work. I mean, 1inch is super popular, and I typically use typically would prefer to use a DEX aggregator over, let's say, Uniswap. But how are you guys sourcing liquidity from centralized exchanges like Ascendex, like KuCoin? How exactly does that work?
Yeah, so that's our bread and butter, right? So we access these liquidity sources through our network of brokers. So we have a network of brokers that are running our software, that themselves create accounts on these centralized exchanges, provide liquidity, and also stake our token, so that when a user places a swap on any of our platforms, that swap gets routed to our brokers. They either place a swap directly from their accounts, or if they have enough liquidity to provide to your, let's say to provide your swap with, they'll just send you the assets. This is all done through our smart contract, through Atomic Swaps. So this is a full non-custodial experience from beginning to end. Everything happens on chain, except the fact that we do need to access some services from the sexes themselves, which has to happen off chain, like quotes and the pricing. But other than that, everything is fully on chain, and the user never loses custody of their funds. So through our APIs, we get to connect to all of these order books, all of these price feeds from these centralized exchanges, and our SDK really is a crucial part, which is open source right now. It's on GitHub, which allows all the on-chain and off-chain data to mesh into one seamless process for the user. And like I said, it's fully non-custodial, and so it all kind of happens very, very seamless for how many things have to happen in the background to make the user get what they need, what they want.
Really quick, you might have mentioned this already, but is the swap also cross-chain?
Right. So we have 5 VVM chains connected right now. So it's the swap itself. It's not, let's say, cross-chain in essence, but in a sense, let's say you have, as a user, we provide our users with the possibility of accessing liquidity. Let's say KuCoin liquidity, which is a SEX that's on Ethereum. You could actually connect via the Binance smart chain. You could actually access KuCoin liquidity via BNB chain. So in that sense, there's that cross-chain compatibility that we offer that isn't really seen in the industry. But in terms of cross-chain swapping, so if you want to swap and also move your assets cross chain. For us, we have our atomic swap bridge that the step you have to do before, let's say, placing a swap. And we have it in two steps right now. So our atomic swap bridge, again, fully non-custodial experience, peer-to-peer. So our users can use that and then go to our swap feature and then swap whatever asset they need once they get to the they're on the network they want to interact with. So we have 5 different networks that you could place trades on our platform. We have Ethereum, BNB chain, Phantom, Matic, and the newest addition is the OKC mainnet, which is the OKX is L1 that they just released. So yeah, to answer your question, it's not, let's say, all in one step, just because we're still uncertain as to the security of our users' tokens on the other platforms that have been providing these services, which are these other projects that claim that you could just swap your token and it'll also go cross chain for you. We're really looking into a way to do it ourselves that's a lot more secure, and basically integrate our bridge technology into our swap itself, so that we know for sure that we're providing a very, very secure transaction, as secure, industry, industry secure, let's say, safe for our users, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, right on. And as we all know, so much of the exploits and so much of the money stolen in the industry over the last few years has been through bridge exploits. Can you dive a bit deeper into, and I want to get back to the bridge, but dive a bit deeper into the security that's enforcing it?
Right. So it's the same security that is currently lives on our swap feature, right? So it goes through our SDK. It's an atomic swap bridge, right? So our smart contract secures the whole process so that it is fully non-custodial. Once you put up your assets to bridge them, your assets will stay in your wallet until the very moment you receive the assets on the next chain, and then we end up taking your assets. So it's in that sense, you'll never actually lose custody of your assets until the transaction goes through. So especially on the bridges that have a lot of liquidity, this is something that happens in almost real time. That's what kind of differentiates our bridge with other bridges is you get your assets within minutes, sometimes within seconds, whereas there's a lot of users that interact with different bridges across the industry that have 10, 15, 20, 30-minute wait times, maybe even more. So our bridge is almost immediate, which is amazing. And like I said, our most important component is how secure it is. Through atomic swaps, you'll never lose custody of your funds. So,
Mm-hmm. So a bit of a niche question, but let's say that you guys are made aware of an exploit that happens on, for the sake of the argument, Binance Smart Chain, and the perpetrator tries to bridge his assets from BSC over to Ethereum through your bridge. Do you guys have any kind of security measures to freeze those funds or capture those funds? Work with law enforcement in case the victims want to have those recovered?
that's a very good question. So that's something I can't actually answer myself. It is a good question that I have in mind to make sure I have the answer to, but I do not have that answer right now. I'm sure it is. There's for sure some ways we could mitigate that risk. But like I said, we're a DeFi platform, so we provide our users global access to the DeFi world. That includes the best centralized liquidity sources, or the best liquidity sources in general. So if there are ways, for sure we do. It's not something I do have that answer for right now, but yeah, it's a good question.
Yeah, no doubt. And again, it's a bit of a niche question, so I don't want to catch you off guard. What is so? I want to talk a bit about the Orion token, and would love to know, one, the purpose for launching your own proprietary token, and also what utilities it provides with respect to the overall ecosystem.
Yeah. So our Orion token is at basically the center of our ecosystem, which is a lot like a lot of DeFi projects. So our brokers are incentivized to be brokers because they stake Orion and they collect Orion tokens. We have governance staking, so we have an APY that's over 8% at this point. So you could provide stability to our network with staking your own Orion tokens at an 8% return. So yeah, the Orion, the biggest, let's say, pro of using the Orion token in our ecosystem is the fact that we provide less fees if you use Orion as the fee token, so the fee asset. So right now we're at 0.2% in fees per transaction if you use the Orion token, and it's just a bit higher at 0.3% if you use Ethereum, USDT, Binance, etc. As your fee asset token. So that's one of the biggest ways we incentivize users to use our token. And I believe we're actually working on kind of a new look for our tokenomics. So this is something that I don't want to go too far into, but it's one of our big plans, big releases in 2023, which I'll hint at other releases as well. But this is one thing we're working on as well, is that incentivizing on using how many users are going to use the Orion token and be able to provide more and more stability to our platform. These are all things where we can't wait to release in 2023.
Beautiful. Okay, so let's jump into the pools first and foremost. I know that there's staking APRs. Are those paid out in LP tokens? Are they paid out in Orion tokens? Or is there another option?
Yeah, so it depends. It depends the project. So the main projects, it's paid in Orion. Let's say it depends on what project is creating what pool. So if it's a smaller time project, it depends on whether we need to supply them with our token or whether they just want to supply their token for the staking benefit, for the staking rewards. So yeah, that really depends. You see it on our pool platform as to what reward you'll be receiving as a staker, so or a LP provider. So yeah, that really depends. The big ones, it's going to be Orion, so you're actually going to receive our native token. And let's say projects that are let's say much smaller that create pools on our platform, they usually end up providing their own token for their reward. So.
Sorry, the mic button was bugging out. And I wanted to talk about Solar Flare now. What is Solar Flare? Let's start with that.
So Solar Flare is a launchpad solution, or I should say was, because this is another 2023 release that we're working on right now as a team. So it was in the past a launchpad solution, and what it was it enabled users to not only have to go through, let's say, the actual launchpad that the crypto project chose to release their token. We could connect to the launchpad, have users actually partake in the release of the token through our terminal, and we incentivize that using burn mechanisms of our token, etc. So this is something that we did for two projects, very successful, VR and Chumby, which were VR was like a metaverse AR project, and Chumby was a GameFi or a gaming platform or a gaming project, I should say. So it went very, very well. We were very happy with the turnout. A lot of community members from their teams partook, and a lot of our community members. That's also one of the benefits of Solar Flare is that our community members are exposed to these new token releases, right? So that project, they're incentivized to also provide information to our community. They'll just get more and more eyes on the release of their token, which they love. So that happened, very, very successful. Fast forward to 2023, we're looking to tweak that process as well. Again, very exciting things we want to release in 2023. I don't want to dive too much into it because we haven't really released that much information on it at all. But we're looking to take that success and the idea of having that launchpad solution and turn it into something, let's say, the next level up of that solution, which we're, again, excited to share this year. But I can't dive let's say, far into it just yet.
Yeah, fair enough. And I'm excited to see a lot of the releases that you guys are coming out with going into 2023 and beyond. Uh, I like the metrics as well. It's a solid breakdown. You guys are using Moonpay as your fiat to crypto gateway. Is that as simple as just plugging in a credit card and then getting funds delivered straight to your decentralized wallet?
Yeah, it's exactly that, right? So it's a let's say classic fiat on ramp. We're looking to modify that process as well, that experience. I know that we're looking into, let's say other fiat on ramp solutions to integrate. So, but yeah, for now it's Moonpay. A lot of users kind of know what that's about. It's just you're buying crypto with cash via the Moonpay service that's integrated on our platform, and then you could follow that up by placing swaps directly on our platform as well. So we want to be a one-stop shop for DeFi users, so that they could go from cash to crypto and then place a decentralized swap using the best liquidity in the world in the same place, all in one, right? So that's pretty much one of the reasons we have the fiat on ramp, and yeah, that's pretty much it for that.
Right on. So I noticed that with 1inch, for example, you're not allowed to use it in certain countries. Are there any countries or regions that Orion is banned, or rather blacklisted for people accessing it?
No, to all of our knowledge, no. This is a fully global access product in the DeFi space. So that's like I mentioned earlier. This is one thing we actually take a lot of pride in, is the fact that a user anywhere in the world could access the best liquidity and place that swap, have it fully non-custodial. There's no middleman in the process. As long as they have connection to the internet, we know that they could access our site and place swaps. So that's also something I keep kind of repeating the same narrative, but as you could probably tell, 2023 is going to be a pretty big year for Orion. It's also something we're looking to tackle as well, is making these bigger impacts in these markets around the world that need our resources, need our project or product a lot more than the established markets that people don't really mind to create accounts for. If you can't create an account on Binance or KuCoin simply because of your geographic location, your government, etc., well, now you'll have the opportunity, or you've always had the opportunity to access that liquidity, the best liquidity in the world, via your MetaMask, via your Trust Wallet, via your Ledger, as long as you have that internet connection. So it's an agenda we're going to try to push in 2023, is really making these people in the world aware that they could have access to the best liquidity in the world, even if they believe, or even if they think or know that they can't create these accounts on these best liquidity sources because of their misfortune of where they live, right? So that global access is one of the things that is one of our biggest pillars, and we're really going to push that in 2023.
Ebbs, I feel like we covered pretty much every component that Orion offers. It's straightforward, it's to the point. I have a few constructive questions for you guys, but before I ask those, is there anything about the overall ecosystem that we haven't discussed that you believe is important to highlight?
Our ecosystem, Orion Protocol's ecosystem?
Correct.
Yeah. Well, it's less about, let's say, I mean, I think we've covered most of it. I didn't go too far into the swap widget, but I think I can mention that now, which is it's exactly what it is. It sounds like it's a swap widget that could be coded onto any platform, any dApp, that will give that dapper platform the power to place decentralized swaps. It's exactly like our trading platform in this form of a widget. We're looking to push that to more and more platforms, especially marketplaces, like NFT marketplaces, digital or physical retail marketplaces, anywhere that has a crypto checkout process. Having the user, giving the user the ability to place a swap right before they need to, make a purchase on any website, to replenish any token right before they make that purchase, make sure they have enough of it. That's our MO. That's our main goal for the swap widget, is to really get to more and more platforms, so more and more users could have this tool at their disposal. So yeah, that's something that I didn't mention too far in depth, but I wanted to mention now. And a lot of different things we have coming this year. Very, very exciting. Our community already knows that we're working on a mobile app, which we're very excited about, and the way we're going to incentivize the use of the mobile app and the terminal itself this year is going to be unique. It's going to be creative, but also it's going to provide a lot of value to our users, existing and especially new users. Yeah, we're super excited about that. I don't want to dive too far into the details, but it's along the lines of a referral program, along with perhaps, like, let's say, a unique twist to it. So
Yeah, I'm glad we dove a bit deeper into the swap widget. Sorry. So anyone can basically take the widget and integrate it into their website, correct? It's a
yeah,
pretty seamless process.
yeah, it's open source. Our SDK is also open source, so our products right now can be accessed and used by anyone in the DeFi space. So 100%. It's less than 15 lines of code. It's super light. It can go on any platform, and yeah, that it gives that platform that ability to place DeFi swaps. And so many projects try to build it themselves, and instead of doing that, they could just use our free to use software. Super simple to integrate, takes less than 20 minutes. And if they want to add their native token on our platform, we're more than happy to do so ourselves. And then we go from there.
Love it. So I had a question about the bridge. You guys have BSC, Ethereum, OKX or OKB rather, and I think Phantom as well. I would love to know why you guys haven't added Avalanche.
Yeah, so we do have 5 EVM chains so far. Uh, the thing I do have to mention is adding networks to our existing protocol is not as easy as other, let's say, DEX aggregators or competitors in the ecosystem. Just because our technology, like I spoke to earlier, is more complex. It it requires a lot more work to onboard a network as simple as another EVM network. So in that sense, I understand your approach. I understand that these are all EVM chains. Why can't we just add 5 or 10 more? It should be a similar process. It's not as easy for us because we're creating technology that no one else is really creating in the space. It also comes with complexities in terms of new integrations, and so in that respect, it does take us maybe a bit more time than another, let's say, technology in the space that doesn't have the complexities we have. Therefore, they're just able to onboard more and more networks. So the networks are coming. So apart from that, the networks are coming. The networks, we're looking to definitely integrate more and more networks, add more and more assets. These are goals that every exchange, every swap platform should have, and we have them as well. So that's what we're looking to do in 2023 again, is to keep adding more networks. We just added OKX's mainnet, which we're super excited about because it's new. It's looking to drive a lot of new users as a platform and ecosystem, and that was not too long ago. So we're super excited to add more and more networks this year for sure. We definitely know it's one of our priorities.
Mm-hmm. Trading sex liquidity in a decentralized way is obviously quite innovative and lucrative because let's be real, most of these centralized exchanges have deep liquidity with relatively low slippage if you're comparing the dexes. You guys, I think you mentioned Qcoin, you mentioned the Sendex. Why haven't you guys tried to do the same thing with Binance or even Coinbase?
I'm not sure I understand the question. You're asking why we're aggregating centralized exchanges as well?
No. I said you guys are aggregating centralized exchanges such as
Yeah.
Qcoin and Sendex, and why haven't you gone after Binance, for example, which also has very deep liquidity?
Yeah, so we already have Binance integrated as well. So we have Binance, OKX, Ascendex, and KuCoin as centralized liquidity sources that have been integrated into our platform. And we have on the DEX side, we have Uniswap, PancakeSwap, Uniswap, PancakeSwap, SpookySwap, CherrySwap, and QuickSwap. So that's on the DEX side. So those are the main liquidity sources we can easily pull from, add tokens from these liquidity sources for any project that is looking to onboard our technology. These are the liquidity sources that we have integrated, and same approach that we have for the networks. We're looking to add more and more liquidity sources this year as well.
Okay, awesome. Sorry, I might have missed the Binance. I think at the beginning of the space you listed everyone, and I might have missed the Binance. So that was one thing I was curious about. What do you guys do to protect user privacy? So let's say someone connects with a wallet and they do a swap or a trade. Do you guys collect IP addresses? Do you guys collect any kind of user data, or does that all remain private?
We take a lot of pride in not collecting any data from our users. So any wallet address that gets connected, we don't take any IP addresses, especially IP addresses. I don't think that's if you're not informing your users that you're doing that, I think that's wrong. No, we don't collect any IP addresses. We're not really collecting any data from our users at all. It's something that we've communicated to our community, and they've have the utmost respect of us in doing so. And so this allows us to really gain the confidence of our users, and like I said, the respect, because we're in the DeFi space, and we're really encompassing that from end to end. So we don't collect data. We're completely a DeFi project, and we, at the essence, want to remain that way on with every aspect of our project, of our technology.
Fantastic. So I'm going to let a community member ask a question. If anyone else wants to come up and ask a few questions, you're more than welcome. Aisha, the mic is yours.
Yeah, thanks, Noah. So it's mentioned on your website that Orion Protocol is launching Orion Developer Kit, an open source repository that permits users to develop decentralized applications on the platform and earn revenue via the Orion Marketplace. The first DApp, Port Ocean, is set to launch on the Orion Marketplace. I was curious to know how Orion Protocol plans to ensure the safety and security of all the apps available on the marketplace and guarantee that they do not pose any risks to users.
Yeah, so we are actually in the midst of conducting multiple audits right now, and we're always going to be continuing to do so in perpetuity. So, with regards to making sure our technology is secure for all of our users, but also our the dApps that are integrating our technology, we make sure to be as compliant as possible, making sure that we are always, let's say, always within a very short bit of time, making sure we're auditing our technology by multiple different auditors. So this is something we take a lot of pride in, and the rest really falls under the fact that our technology is super secure. Our smart contracts are, the technology within them allows our users to feel very safe. The custody of their funds is never taken or held in anywhere besides their wallet from start to finish. So, like I said, to really make sure we're as secure as we can be on the technology side. We're making sure we run multiple audits and make sure we run those audits as close together as possible, and make sure that we release that publicly so that, like again, our users and also our the projects that are onboarding our technology know that these audits are completed. They know that our technology is safe for our users and their users.
Understood. I would also like to inquire about the programming languages that are compatible with the Orion SDK, which can assist developers in constructing applications.
Good question. I can't say I'm the most technical, so I wouldn't be able to answer that question as good as let's say one of our devs or one of our more technical guys on the team. So I would say definitely send me that. You could DM me on Instagram, Telegram, and we could definitely provide you with that answer for sure. I could make sure that we get whoever needs to answer that question on our team the answer for you. So once we go into coding languages and something that's outside of my, let's say, realm, I make sure that I connect you with the right team member, and we can go from there and make sure that everything is as clear as possible for you.
I'll DM you my question later.
Awesome. Awesome. I look forward to it.
Okay. Moving to my next question. I'm curious if the Orion protocol supports P2P withdrawals to bank accounts, which would enable users to avoid the need to switch to centralized exchanges for these type of withdrawals.
Right. So we do have the on ramp that we did talk about. Now you can use it to off ramp your cash. Well, so we don't have our own off ramp, no. So if that's going to happen, that's not in the plans for 2023 for now. But it's a good question. It's something that we're keen on looking into as well as the on and off ramp process. This is something we are looking at our widget to maybe have the capability to do. So we've been looking at it. It's lower in the priority list. There's, like I said, there's a lot of things we're working on that we can't wait to release, that we're at the finish line for. And on and off ramp is something that's on our list to really look at, to really dive into, but not in the immediate time frame.
Understood. That makes sense. Okay, last question for me. Given that the Orion terminal aggregates liquidity from centralized exchanges, do you anticipate any potential regulatory challenges for the platform?
So what we could say right now is
Did Ebs rug or did I rug?
oh, hello?
Ebs, well, we got you back.
Do you hear me?
Yep, we got you.
Okay. Yeah, so I heard the question. So we haven't received any pushback from any public entities with regards to regulation. So I can't speak on behalf of that personally, or on behalf of the project. We haven't, seen any hurdles in that regard, and we don't. We're going to make sure that we could provide, like I said, global access to our users, and regardless of what happens within the space, within the DeFi space itself, we will be sure to give that global access to the best liquidity sources to our users. We will find a way. So as of right now, nothing's really pushing us out of the space. No one's really coming after us with regards to how we conduct our business. But we make sure to keep our ear to the ground and know what could potentially harm us as a project, our business continuity risks, and we will always make sure to provide to be able to provide our users with this global access. So I would say there's no let's say pending risk. There's no risk for the foreseeable future.
Understood. Thank you so much for answering.
Thank you.
Thank you, Aisha.
Hey guys,
Hey, what's up, man? Go ahead. Midnight
what's
session.
happening? Sorry to interrupt. Hey Noah, it's midnight from the midnight show. um, hey Ibs, how you doing? I'm liking what you're saying. But my key questions usually when it comes to projects I like to look at further is strategy into marketing, and I don't mean the strategies that you see, going AMA to AMA, but the business strategies that you've got behind, your protocol, what you're doing, how you distributing your assets, or what are your strategies in general, you know?
That's not sure exactly what the angle of the question is. I'm perhaps you're asking about tokenomics. I'm not sure. Um,
Technically, what tokenomics, I can really go and see it. It's not a problem. But technically, like,
yeah.
how are you, doing your marketing, for general public? Because, right now, the current market is not the greatest. It could be better. But how are you approaching it? And how do you see yourself operating for the next, say, 6 to 12 months?
Yeah, great question. And I understood. So we're what's going to come with these new announcements, these releases, these features that we're planning for 2023 is also going to come with a refreshing angle, marketing angle. I think it's going to go hand in hand just because what we're building is also unique in itself, and we don't want that traditional marketing angle for products or let's say features of our product that are super unique in the space to really fall victim to, let's say. So definitely we're already working on like I mentioned earlier, unique ways to onboard new users, incentivizing them to really use our new releases of the features and products we're releasing in 2023. So these are all things in the pipeline. I can't myself dive into every single strategy, but these are already the pen has been put to paper already, and once these releases start flowing, you'll really get that feeling of how effective this new marketing approach is going to be.
Okay,
Hello?
Can you
Hello?
guys hear me? Sorry, the Twitter is not the greatest. Oh no, that sounds great. But essentially, so my main question is, how are you going to approach the average Joe? So say I don't understand crypto at all. How are you going to make them understand how you guys operate, how Orion Protocol operates, and what it does for them?
Yeah, so this is all part of our new user growth strategy, and this is something we're really excited on finalizing. It's already, like I said, it's already pen has been put to paper, and these are things you're going to experience as an existing user, and we can't wait to release to our new user growth, our potential new users. So. For now, I'm not going to dive too into the strategy themselves, but I like I said with your first question, we can't wait for you guys to experience what we have in store for all of the releases we have coming up.
Awesome. And my final question, what makes you different in the space compared to what's out there? In just say in 6 words, what makes you unique?
The best liquidity aggregated in a fully decentralized way, fully non-custodial experience, global access. That's really what we pride ourselves with. Like I mentioned earlier. So yeah, that's in let's say around 10 words. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you. Look, I want to give the space to everyone because I don't like taking time. So thank you, everyone. And thank you, Noah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Let's go with Optimal Store, and then we can get to Captain Levi and Rahmat.
Hey guys, what's up? Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Wonderful. Yeah, I did have a question. I By the way, I love the idea and I love what's being built here. I'm super interested in the tech stack and everything. So I'm definitely gonna do more reading, as this is the first time I've heard of the Orion protocol, which I love. Yeah, just I did have a question about this. Have you received any pushback from competing exchanges? Because I feel like some might be concerned that this could drive volume away from some of the larger ones, or even from some of the smaller ones, and therefore maybe decrease profits. So is there some concern that has been echoed by those exchanges at all in terms of that, or no?
So the trades you place on our platform are actually being routed to the liquidity sources. So they would have no issue with the fact that we're aggregating or integrating their technology, because we're using their platform to conduct these trades. So when a user interacts with a Binance order book, Binance itself is making sure that trade is placed a lot of the time, or most of the time. So with that regard, we're using Binance itself. We're using KuCoin, Ascendex, OKX. We're all using these liquidity sources to make sure these trades are placed on these actual exchanges. It all happens in the background so that the user doesn't experience any of it at all. They place a swap, they get the best liquidity, they get a very, very good price at very minimal slippage, and they're in and out. So with regards to the existing liquidity sources or exchanges, they have no quarrel with us, because it's the opposite. We're actually providing their platforms with more volume. So it's actually quite the opposite.
Well, that's great. And so as I understand it, then you guys are doing all the background work, and then you provide the interface to the user,
Yep.
correct? Oh, that's amazing. I love this. Okay. Wow. Thank you for answering the question.
Of course. Thank you for your question.
Thank you, Optimal. Next up, we have Captain Levi.
Yeah, thank you, Noah. Okay, so I have a few questions from the statements on your website, and the first one that caught my attention is the fact that you said you don't compete with other exchanges, rather you aggregate them. This is actually really nice. But under that particular theme, I saw that you don't need to create an account. Someone can trade across all major exchanges without the need to ever open an account again. Is it that someone can trade without opening an account, or once someone opens an account, then he can keep trading on Orion?
Yeah, so this is one of our biggest, this is our most, let's say, unique value proposition, is the fact that you, as a user, can go and connect your MetaMask, your own wallet, your non-custodial wallet, like a Ledger or Trust Wallet. You could connect to our terminal, and instead of having to create accounts on, exchanges like Binance, KuCoin, OKX, and Ascendex. OKX actually is a great example for me, because I can't even create an account on OKX. I live in a place where it's outside of their realm of service, so I can't even, if I even wanted to access OKX liquidity via OKX, I don't have that capability. So you could use me as a good example of the fact that we don't have those limitations. Orion protocol, when you connect to our terminal, you have access to all of this liquidity without ever having to go on these separate exchanges and create these accounts. You're connecting your non-custodial wallet super seamlessly. Whatever wallet you have, we have a bunch of options, like I mentioned, and you then have access to these aggregated order books from these centralized exchanges that you would have had to create an account for to access. We provide that exact experience, an even better experience, because it's aggregated liquidity in a fully non-custodial way, global access, right? So that's what we take pride in, and I'm happy you asked that question, because that's our raison d'être. That's why we keep building for our users.
It's kind of awesome that someone can actually reach where normally one won't be able to reach with this unique feature. Okay, so you actually talked about widgets before. And whenever I think of widgets, I usually think of Android applications that have widgets. And you said sometime in the future that you plan on bringing up an Android application. So will this swap widget also be embedded into your mobile app?
So our mobile app is actually going to be our trading terminal within the app itself. So you're going to have the swap feature. You're going to have the the trading terminal portion of our flagship product within the mobile app. So in essence, it's exactly what you asked. The answer is the widget itself is a mirror version of our trading platform. Our mobile app is the same thing. It's the mirror version of our trading platform, so that iOS users are going to be able to place swaps directly from their phones rather than go on our webpage on their phone or on their PC on their computer. You'll have access to our trading platform right on their mobile app. You'll use Wallet Connect to make sure you can connect to whatever wallet you need to connect to, and it's going to be so much easier to access our platform, the best liquidity sources aggregated in the world, and that's what we're really excited about, releasing in 2023.
All right, that's awesome. Here's my last question. Still on your website, I saw that you have rich trading tools. I think the Midnight Show actually touched on this before, but I'll just want to iterate another question from there. I'm asking, what's the recommended trading experience level for someone to be comfortable to use these tools? And is there any form of help desk for those that haven't actually reached this experience level?
Yeah, we actually have a good amount of documents online to really walk you through the step-by-step process of how complex you want our experience to be. But if you're more on the beginner side, you have your non-custodial wallet, obviously, because that you need in general for the DeFi space. You have your MetaMask account created. Once you have that, the simplest thing you could do on our platform is just use our swap feature. And our swap feature is very, very easy to use. You have an asset, you want to swap to another asset, you put in the asset, you put in the amount, your principal amount, you see how much you're going to get in your other asset, you swap the asset, you make sure you sign the approvals in your non-custodial wallet, which is something that's really the same process across DeFi for now, and that swap will be executed. So we have the more beginner end user experience. And then if you want to go into our trade module, that's where you see the aggregated order books happening in real time. That's when you could place limit orders rather than market buys. And really, you could even start playing around with the spreads, so the arbitrage opportunity. So that's more of the, let's say, intermediate or expert level, which we also provide. But like I said, we also provide the swap experience, which is really tailored to more beginner DeFi users.
Thanks, Ebs. I really appreciate the detailed answers you gave to my questions. I wish you guys the very best, and I hope that Orion Protocol stays bullish moonward. Thank you, Noah. Over to you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Captain Levi. Let's go with Joseph next, and then we'll finish out with Rahmat.
How you doing, Ebs? Thanks ever so much for taking my question. I think you've done a brilliant job so far in explaining the power of Orion Protocol. I think it looks fantastic. I've just got a couple of questions about stop loss and trading. So a lot of the community are quite keen to get a stop loss feature. And a lot of traders say that they'd use the platform much more if a stop loss feature was there. Hello?
Yeah, good evening.
I'm sorry about that.
That's okay. Did you hear my question or?
Could you repeat the question? Sorry.
Yeah, of course I can. So, Ebs, the question was about stop loss. Quite a lot of traders in the community are keen to learn more about when a stop loss will be implemented into the platform. And I just wondered if you had any update on that, really.
Yeah, it's a fair question. I don't have an update as to the exact timeline of it. This is something we're, yeah, I would say I agree with the need for it for sure, and we can all agree as a project. But it's something that, like I said, we have so many things in the pipeline right now that we want to release. That's something that's also in the pipeline. I'm not sure as to the timeline of it. I can't give you, let's say, a real timeline for that feature itself. But yeah, definitely in our on our to-do list for sure.
Okay, yeah, fantastic. And I just wanted to say thanks ever so much for putting your points across about Orion, and all the questions today have been really good. And the fact that I think we can all see from your explanation and the people who really believe in Orion how wonderful a project it is, and just trading without a KYC and just trading from your own wallet and having a real deep liquidity is fantastic. What do you think are the biggest barriers Orion faces about why it's why kind of it's an up and coming project and not quite there with everyone trading on it so far?
Yeah, so it's a lot of it's a similar sentiment that I received in Denver actually. Once I speak about our project to other projects, users, infrastructure builders, they always ask me, you guys have such an amazing project.
Yeah, everyone loves it. It's brilliant.
Yeah, you have an amazing project. You have amazing technology. When is it going to go mainstream, right? And this is something that we're very excited to bring to in 2023. This is like I mentioned throughout this this AMA, we have the combination of our upcoming releases, of our announcements, paired with this refreshing marketing strategy, this refreshing new approach is really our main goal is to really drive our project to the mainstream. So to really answer your question, this is exactly what we're working on as a project, and we cannot wait to show our community, our users, and especially the new potential users from around the world what we're capable of doing.
Absolutely, and I completely agree. I love the marketing strategy. I think kind of yourself, Andrew, people like that do a fantastic job. One thing from a long-term holder's perspective, I think that kind of hinders us a little bit is the speed in which tokens and coins and chains are integrated. And there was a stage where it was hypothesized that we could get 10 coins a week putting on Orion, and we did a fantastic project where we highlighted different coins every week, and people were really buzzed about that in the community, and I think that brought quite a lot of publicity and people trading on the platform. And I think I understand the marketing policy that we are kind of deliver first and talk about it later, and I respect that because not many companies do that in the crypto space. But I think for me personally, as a long-term holder, I think it's all about tokens, chains, on as quick as we possibly can. Is there anything that you can share with us about the speed in which these can be added in the future in 2023 and how we plan to do that?
Yeah, it's a great question, and it's the same narrative with the amount of chains we have integrated, right? So more assets, more chains, and more liquidity sources. These are all, let's say, these three aspects of how we're going to tailor to as many new users as possible. They have to get done to make sure that we can. So I agree with you. Adding assets is definitely a priority of ours, but I would say we do have more important things we're really at the finish line for right now. So maybe in the past few quarters or last quarter, let's say, we've really focused on finalizing these major product changes, these major features that we are so excited to release. And once they kind of get released and really we start creating that buzz again, we're gonna make sure to really go back to adding more assets, more chains, etc. So yeah, I agree. Definitely adding assets is an important part of our project. It will drive new users for sure, and we will be working on that as the 2023 year progresses for sure.
Brilliant. Well, thank you ever so much for everything you do, and the same with the team. And I wish you all the very best. And we'll keep strong in the community and keep hoping we're building at the same pace. So thank you. Take care.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Joseph. Great questions. Rahmat, you were last, sir, and then we'll wrap things up.
Yeah, thank you, Noah. Okay, on your website, I came across the information that Orion Protocol is working on NFT aggregator as well and has intention to launch a their own NFT series, which will unlock certain advantages on the Orion protocol platform. So, can you provide further details about this development?
Yeah, I believe you had asked me an NFT, like an NFT collection, releasing an NFT collection. That's what I gathered from that question. This is something um, uh, there's a lot more important things we're working on. It is somewhere on the pipeline for sure, but it is not an imminent priority to work on slash complete. So anything NFT related right now, we took a step back. We haven't revisited that, let's say, approach, that strategy, that aspect of our product, but we will. Probably not imminently, probably not in the first half of this year. It would likely be towards the second half of this year or next year. So this is, let's say, aggregating NFTs slash releasing an NFT collection is we don't believe it would add as much value as the the product releases or the feature releases we're going to release this year. So we were very thorough with our approach on what to prioritize this year, and so we have a lot bigger value added proposals and features we're going to release this year that are going to make our users and our new users much more excited about.
Understood. Okay, I'm also interested in learning how many governing members are there which are directing the growth of the Orion ecosystem. And additionally, are the token holders also able to maybe participate in the DAO governance process?
Can you just repeat that question?
Yeah, sure. So I'm interested in learning how many governing members are there, which are making, the core team members, which are making the
Okay.
decisions regarding the direction of the Orion ecosystem. And additionally, are the native token holders also able to participate in the proposals and the votes?
Yeah, so I can answer the first half of the question, which is what makes up our team. We're very dev heavy as a project. We have many more devs working, as you probably expect, just because we're creating industry first technology. So we have dozens more devs than we do business members. We're more lean on the business team, but that we're a very strong team at our core. So in terms of numbers, we're a bit less than a dozen on the business side slash marketing, on let's say the operation side, and we're triple or quadruple that on the dev side. So we're very dev heavy. We have our CEO Alexei Koloskov from the Waves protocol that started Orion protocol with our other co-founder Cal, and Alexei's really manning the dev team. He has all of those devs in order and making sure that they keep producing and pumping out this industry first technology. So that's pretty much what makes up the Orion team. And I'm not sure I understood the second half of your question. Was it DAO related?
Yes, it was DAO related. I was saying that will token holders be able to maybe put forward proposals or vote on the various proposals to
Yeah.
decide regarding features or yeah, did you get?
I think he might have. I think Ebbs might have rugged.
Oh, hello. Yeah.
Ebbs, you back?
Yeah. Yeah. So on the DAO side, this is it's one of our priorities, just a bit further down the list. I would say it's not an imminent something we're going to be releasing more imminently, but this is probably a second half to next year timeline for sure. A lot like the NFT portion of our product, but we are looking to really refine that DAO process for sure.
Understood. Understood. Thank you so much for answering. Over to you, Noah.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you, Rahmat. Hey, Ebbs, it's been a pleasure having you on, man. I didn't even know much about Orion at all until you came and broke it all down for us. So I really appreciate it. I think everyone should at least have a look. Obviously, do your own research, but I love seeing solutions like this. So if you have any closing thoughts for the audience before you head out today, go ahead and share them now. Otherwise, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, I would say for everyone listening, go experience our trading platform, our widget that's on a bunch of different platforms right now. Experience it for yourself. I'd love to hear your feedback. My DMs are always open on Telegram. So you guys could DM me anytime with any feedback, any questions you have. I'm always open to taking any questions. It might take me a bit of time to answer them, as I also just came back from Denver and I have hundreds of DMs to answer at this point. But don't be afraid. Send me a message. Reach out to me or any of the other team members. But I don't want to speak on behalf of them. You could definitely just message me, and we could chat about your experience, what you'd like to see, and any questions you have. So go out there, experience our products for yourself. The best liquidity sources in the world, all aggregated, without ever having to really create an account and just connecting your non-custodial wallet. So go out there, do that, and I'm definitely looking forward to keeping in touch with anyone listening that is looking to learn more about Orion.
Beautiful. Whalecoin Talk community, you're listening to another episode of The Aquarium. My name is Noah, and remember, everything you hear on this broadcast is meant for educational purposes only. Nothing is financial advice. So be safe out there, and we'll see you all in about an hour for the next one. Take care.
Bye, guys.